Welcome to Wellness Made Easy with Wendy and Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Wendy. After I graduated with my master's in wellness management, I started my own company, T2 Coaching, Health, Fitness, and Sport.
And I'm Kirsten, an athlete, vegan, life coach, and girl mom, running a business focused on helping others create a life they love.
We are here to explore all things wellness to help you become the person you've always wanted to be.
So if that's why you're here, open your ears and your mind as we tackle the world of wellness together.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Kirsten. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like, again, we talked about changes of seasons and jobs, and our summer league has come to an end. I picked up a few hours over the last 8 weeks coaching summer league, and I miss coaching kids. I ended my USA youth swim coaching to coach masters. And I do miss the kids. So I'm really glad I got to do a little part-time with the kids over the summer. I don't miss the kids' schedule though, because moving into the fall, the practice schedule has moved from when I used to coach. It took me years, but over the years, I kind of had the perfect youth coaching schedule from like 4 to 7. And now they're moving to 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 to 8:30. So I could have done it. I could do 4:30 to 5:30, and then masters 5:30 to 6:30, and then the older group 6:30 to 8:30. But I don't want to stay that late. And so, when I think about the new schedule that they created, I'm like, okay, it's good that I'm not doing it because I don't want to stay that late. But I could sub, so I can still continue to coach the kids as a sub. And so right now, everything, again, changes of seasons, and I'm kind of in a very steady pace of life right now.
So are you going to pick up any extra things or just keep doing what you're normally doing?
Keep doing what I'm normally doing. I picked up a couple new clients over the last week. And so my business, it's steady. We're kind of approaching the fall again. It's actually end of July. So I feel like, once the kids start school, it's fall. So I anticipate a drop off towards the end of fall when a lot of athletes I'm coaching end their race. But again, I like to keep them in the off season. So I'm okay. I'm still going to be okay if I do lose a couple who want to take a break, because just over the last year, my business has really grown a lot compared to it almost going out of business. And so I'm kind of in a good place. I have some upcoming travel in the fall. I'm going to France for the 74th World Championship next month.
Nice. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, an athlete of mine qualified at Augusta. And so he bought me a plane ticket, and I'm coaching his sons kind of as the payment. And then Don and I are going on an anniversary trip in October. We're going to Florida because he wants to do a woodworking thing. And that's a lot of travel for me. Plus the racing I've been doing. I feel like I've done a lot of traveling for me, and traveling always gives me a little anxiety because then I miss my shifts of coaching. And I'm coaching adults. They can take care of themselves while I'm gone a week. But I still get I get travel anxiety. Like, I love to travel. Once I'm through the airport or at my destination, I'm fine. But it's the anticipation that gives me anxiety for whatever reason. Don't know why. Because it always is fine. It always works out great. But that's just one of my little things in life that when I travel, I get anxious for whatever reason.
I think that's really important. The whole concept of I get all this anxiety about whatever it is that we get anxiety about, and then it all works out. Or I'm really worried about it, and then it turns out to be fine. I think that's super important for us to remember in life in general. Because I feel like when I can do that, like, I'm a hot mess right now. Today is Tuesday, and I've already accidentally double booked people twice this week. And today is Tuesday. And one I didn't even have, well, both of them, obviously I didn't have it on my schedule because I don't have 2 people on my schedule. One of them I work at a few different locations of gyms, and I was leaving to go meet somebody at the gym I'm actually at right now, and to meet a client for a 1:00 appointment. And I had left the other gym because I teach a class till 12:30. So I left about 12:40 to come over here. And right when I left, they called me from the front desk over there and they're like, your client is here. And I was like, oh, I thought I was meeting him at Swim and Fit at 1. And they go, no, it's Carolyn. She has you at 12:45 here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst person. Like, I felt horrible that I didn't even have that. And so I looked back at mine and her text. And I did. I scheduled her at 12:45 at City Park, and I scheduled somebody else at 1:00 at Swim and Fit. And it's just, I have to forgive myself for that because I have a lot going on right now. And I just have to keep reminding myself that I've felt this way before, being so overwhelmed. We have 3 full-day swim meets this week. And like, my house is such a mess. I have to walk through things and around things just to get from one room to the other. And if I didn't have the experience that things work out okay in the end, I would probably be a lot more frustrated and anxious right now. But I think that's such a great reminder that even when we feel this way, like you said, every time I travel, I get really anxious, like getting to the airport, and then it all turns out okay. So I think that's a really important lesson.
And I know that feeling of double booking. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but I know that feeling, and you totally catches you off guard. You're like, wait, I don't even know how that happened. And then you look back at the text or the messages or whatever, your calendar, and you're like, oh my gosh, I even put it in my calendar. I just don't look at my calendar.
Right.
So, that's a horrible feeling. I always feel super bad. And then, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to give it to them for free because I screwed up. And then I'm like, no, that's not the answer either.
Right.
It's just things happen. Life happens to everyone, and everyone, if they know you, they understand. Like, life happens. They've made the same mistake. We've all double booked, and if you haven't, you will in the future. So, in the end, it always ends up being okay.
Right. Yeah. And so I texted her and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, and I was like, can you do? And I gave her some other dates. And she's like, oh yeah, let's do Sunday at 2 or whatever I said. And I was like,
right. And
she's like, no biggie, let's do Sunday at 2. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I was making it such a thing. Like, she's never going to want to. And this is a brand new personal training client. So I've never even met her. Like, the people I know, they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Well, because they know, like, I give so much. I give a lot of my time. I'm very generous with my time and my knowledge and my information and the help I give people. So the people who know me, I'm not worried about because they know I'll make it up to them somehow. But this is a brand new person I've never met. So it felt a little, I was a little more like flustered about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your wellness win?
I tapered. I felt really horrible. It's a wellness win because it was really hard for me to stick to it because I felt really bad. We've talked about tapers before. The first week of my taper, I just felt really, really bad. And
physically, mentally, emotionally.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So physically, my legs were lead weights for 8 days. So I'm a few days away from my race. My legs were lead weights. My HRV said it was outstanding. My training readiness, according to Garmin, has been super high for the last 8 days since I started. And my sleep has been phenomenal. My nutrition has been phenomenal, except I have dead legs. And so it goes back to technology telling me I'm ready to go. But my legs have a different story. And I've raced really well when my training readiness has been super low and my HRV has been low. and all my technology's been telling me I'm not ready, I've raced really well. So that mindset, that battle of, oh my gosh, I should be feeling great. I'm 8 days into my 2-week taper. How come my legs don't? I don't know. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason for it. I think back and I'm like, that I like to do 2-week builds, 1-week rest as I've aged, but I pushed that 3rd week, and I've been pushing the 3rd week because it's been just kind of working out with my race schedule to go 3 weeks on, 1 week off. I should have rested that 3rd week like my body was telling me to, but I pushed through it. So I have a feeling I overreached a little bit. And so my body is just taking a while, but I'm trusting the process, and I'm learning a lot about like how your nerves and the neurological system has to catch up. Like your body's going through these changes, but I never think about the neurology part about it, like what's going on internally. And so I'm accepting it. And yesterday, instead of going for an easy run, I just had to bust some. I'm like, my training readiness says it's high. I'm going to bust out some intervals. And I did horrible. But I actually think getting that sharpening, like, during a taper, you want to decrease volume, right, but you want to maintain some intensity. Well, I'm ultra running too. I'm not training for triathlon. So I'm still kind of learning that balance of tapering for an ultra race. So I actually feel better. Actually, I woke up feeling better because of it. And all my technology says I'm still ready, yada, yada, yada. So I guess that's a wellness win that I'm just like, I'm doing it. I'm trusting the taper. I'm just going to see what happens. And I feel good. So that's a win.
I think it's really interesting because you and I have been athletes you've been an athlete your whole life, but I mean, this specific like endurance athletes for 30 years. And we're both coaches, and we tell people to trust the taper. Mm-hmm. Right. And here you are 30 years in, and you're like, it's a wellness win because I'm trusting the taper, because we understand we understand how a taper works. But sometimes, even if you understand the science behind it, to trust it completely is still challenging.
Yeah. And I've had just phenomenal tapers. And again, I've had phenomenal races in a very exhausted state. So it's just, again, trusting the taper. And I just thought about another non-Wendy training wellness win. I coached 7 athletes that raced this past weekend, and they all did phenomenal. I volunteered at the Georgia Women's Peach Race, and I had 4 athletes there, some that I just coach in masters and some that I coach one-on-one. And it was so much fun. They did so great. And I had another athlete I've been coaching for 2.5 years, and she finished her first Ironman on Lake Placid. So I'm actually more excited about that wellness win than I am about my own. But both of them are both totally different wellness wins. But again, how athletes I coach compete and how much fun they're having, and how like this group is forming, and it's just really fun and it's really exciting to me. So that's another wellness win.
Yeah, that's probably my wellness win. We have our 3 big swim meets this week. We have an all-day Wednesday meet, an all-day Thursday meet, and those 2 meets, the 12 and unders are Wednesday and the 13 and olders are Thursday. And whoever makes the top 20 in each event advances to the finals on Saturday. And then we swim all the relays at finals also on Saturday. So we have 76, well, now 75, because one already can't go, 75 kids swimming. And I looked at where I got the psych sheets. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's after we put in all our entries, they send the coaches a list of everyone from fastest to slowest in every event, including relays. So you can look to see where your swimmers are ranked before the heat sheets even come out. And so looking through the psych sheet and the relays, I feel like if everyone swims their best, no DQs, especially on relays, we could potentially, I have us like between 5th and 6th place. So we could potentially get 5th place. Our highest ranking we've ever gotten was 6th place, and that was 2 years ago. And then last year we got 8th. So Kat and I were my assistant, we were kind of disappointed because we were like doing better each year. Like the first year we were 12th and then 11th and then 10th and then 6th and then 8th. So we're like, we want to crack the top 5. And I feel like we're really close to being able to do that. So we had really fun practices the last 2 days, getting the kids ready. I got like spirit packs for all the junior coaches and all the senior swimmers. So we're all going to be dressed head to toe in yellow with yellow pom-poms and yellow face paint. And I'm really excited. And so I feel like my wellness win is getting through the season and getting to this point where we are all going into these final meets as a strong, cohesive team. And I think that'll make a difference with where we end up placing on Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Amazing.
I know. So my struggle is, and I was thinking a lot about this because it goes along with making things easier in our life. And our podcast is Wellness Made Easy. Wendy's word is do simple better. We talk about simplicity. And one thing I still struggle with is over explaining myself to other people. And the issue I'm having right now, and this is the 3rd year in a row it's happened. So this tells me that I need to change something about myself. So I'd be interested to see what you think of this too, Wendy. So we have these 2 boys in swimming who are the same speed. They've been the same speed all year. They're 11, 12 boys. 3 of our 11, 12 boys are like a few seconds faster. So we needed a 4th person for the relay. And it was between these 2 boys. So the last couple weeks, I've been having them do swim offs. Sometimes one wins, sometimes the other wins. They're usually pretty much tied. The last swim meet, one of them got 2 seconds faster, but then the other one was faster in the relay when they were doing the relay last meet. So they're pretty much the same, but one of them ended up with a second faster best time. So over the last 2 weeks, both parents have separately either talked to me or sent me messages about how their son deserves the relay spot. And both of their kids are kids that I coach in the off season too. So I know both boys really well. They both work their butt off. It's not even a matter of like, oh, well, somebody wants it more. They both want it the same. And so today, I told the boys today, I said, I've decided that I'm going to put one of you in the free relay and one of you in the medley relay. I was like, it was so hard for me to decide. And that way they both get the opportunity to swim a relay in finals. And one of the boys, his mom came up to me and she was like, she pulls out a spreadsheet of everyone's times that they've swam all season. So she has way more time on her hands than me. I mean, if she has that much time, she can definitely come fold my laundry because I don't even know how she had time to do this. But she looked up every single time for the 50 free that either one of the boys have swam all season. And she has it in a spreadsheet. And she's like, I can't find where the other kid swam a faster time. And so this is what happened with me the last 2 years with 2 different parents. And it's just happening again, where I'm trying to explain to her why I did what I did. And she keeps coming back with, but what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Showing me all this stuff. And I'm trying to explain, and everything I mention, she comes back with a rebuttal of why her son should get in to swim in both relays. So it made me think, number one, I just have to change my whole approach to like, nobody even is going to know if they're in a relay until the night before finals. Because it's so much stress on me to be trying to deal with these parents who think their kids should be the one. And so that's a struggle that I have. And when I listen to Dave Ramsey, I've talked about him before. He's a financial person and he has a radio show, and people call in every day, 3 hours of a show a day. So they get so many callers, all walks of life. And a lot of them talk about boundaries. Like when people call in and they're like, oh, my dad wants to buy me a car, but I don't want a car. I'm $10,000 in debt. I'd rather have $10,000 than a car. How do I tell him? And Dave always says, use as little words as possible. Because if you sit there and say, well, I don't want the car because I'm in debt, blah, 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 they'll come back with a reason why you should take the car. And then you're sitting there explaining yourself and nobody wins. And so I spent about 20 minutes of practice today where I wanted to be with the kids. I had to leave my assistants with the kids because I was dealing with this parent that wouldn't let things go. So I know that I need to make some changes, but also just saying something like, because I'm the coach, that's why. Like less words instead of trying to my process, because it wasn't helpful at all. She didn't walk away. She still walked away annoyed that her son isn't swimming in both relays. So like nothing changed.
I've learned.
So yeah, I wanted to, since you've been in the same position as a coach, I would love to know your thoughts too.
Yeah. I mean, I learned from my sister who was a psychologist. I'm sorry you feel that way. End of story.
Yeah.
The parent goes on and on and on and on about why their kid should swim. They're not accepting you as the coach get to decide, and then they don't like it and you just say, I'm sorry you feel that way, and walk away.
Yeah.
I've done that before, and it actually works. Those words, I'm sorry you feel, what is it, 5 words?
Yeah.
That's, like, how can you, what can you say to that? Like, what is the response of the parent if you had said that?
Or something like, thank you for letting me know your thoughts, and just leave it at that. So that's what made me think of it. I'm like, I want a more simple approach, because I was doing the same thing with this mom last year with her daughter. But it was in a text. So we were like she was sending me these long texts going back and forth why her daughter deserves to be in the relay, and how this other girl, she's like, I look through all her times. I don't even see a 50 free time for her. Because we as coaches, we at every meet, we take splits in the relays, and the splits aren't on the results sheet. The splits are on a spreadsheet that I have at my house. And so, instead of me trying to explain like, well, I do this, the splits. And I think the reason we over-explain ourselves in situations like that is because we are trying to be people pleasers instead of protecting the reason we did something, or ourselves, or our boundaries. So we're trying to explain like, I did it, like, please accept me because this is why I did it.
Right.
Instead of being like, put your foot down and saying like, cause we had a male coach. I don't know if this is a male female thing, but we had a male coach last year. And when I was going back and forth with this other mom last year, he's like, you are giving this lady way too much of your energy. You should just say, because I'm the coach, that's why. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so simple. But then here it is again a year later, and I'm doing the same exact thing I did last year.
And I learned to say that to my kids. Why when they're whining everything, all I say is because I'm the coach. Someday, Emma, you're going to be a coach, and you can use that reasoning as well. When you're a coach, you can say, because I'm the coach. Yeah. And it's valid.
And when you're the coach, you can decide why you want to do things.
Right.
Because it's and if that doesn't work well for a person, like the lady who I had the issue with last year, her daughter's not on the team this year.
Yeah, good.
And that's okay. Yeah. Because then I'd be dealing with two parents instead of, and luckily, and the dad that I dealt with 3 years ago, their daughter's not on the team this year. And so, you know, I don't know. I know it's a me thing because it keeps happening to me. And I do believe that things show up in our lives and don't go away until they teach us what we need to learn from it. And so, you know, that's what I need to learn, is not to try to please so many people and be like, stand my ground more.
Right.
And like, I made this decision, so this is the decision.
Yeah.
Because she was even like, so what if he swims? So his time is a 32 for the 50 free. And the other three, like the other three boys are like 30, 31. And his time's a 32. The other guy who he was going up against is a 34. So the mom was like, well, what if he swims a 29 at prelims? Will he 100% be in the relay? And I'm like, I already made the decision that one kid is in one relay and one kid is in the other. I just kept justifying it and explaining it to her. And it was, you know, a couple hours ago, and obviously it's still on my mind. I'm like, oh, that was so annoying and frustrating. But I have to just nip it in the bud right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So remind me next year.
The beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, I already
beginning
decided.
Of the season, they know what to expect from you, and these are your boundaries as a coach, and my decisions are final.
Yeah. And I yeah, you're right. I just need to say that right from the beginning. And so if anybody does come up, I'm like, I already made the decision. But that's why I don't want to put out the relays until the night before. Because then but that's my avoidance too. That's my way of avoiding it. It's just not put out the relays, then nobody can complain. So do you have anything right now in your life that feels like you're overcomplicating it, or does everything just feel really easy and simple?
Everything feels easy and simple.
Oh, I need that for sure.
Because my word of the year is make simple better.
I know.
Everything's fine. Everything's good.
Oh, you need to send some of that over here. Everything is very so my mom.
You're kind of breaking up.
Oh, I am. It might be the internet here. It says it's working, but you never know. My mom signed Cora up this week and next week for a camp that's only in the afternoons. So I have to remember next year that cannot happen because it's too stressful having her all morning, like running around everywhere with her. And so again, setting those boundaries and saying, because when she did it, she was like, oh, I'll just take her in the morning and then take her to camp in the afternoon. Well, here I am with her every morning. So did you have any athlete questions this week?
Oh my gosh, I had a ton. But what I want to stress is open water swimming. It's the season. We're in the middle of race season for triathletes. Please swim in open water before your triathlon. Please warm up in open water or on land before your triathlon. A lot of my athletes' successes this past weekend were because they followed my advice. It's so rewarding when an athlete who I just started coaching like 4 months ago, who lives in Seattle, told me, you know, they didn't allow us swim warm up, but I followed your instructions on land. It was so beneficial. Oh, it allowed me to catch my breath before my wave started. And it was, so, you know, just to hear athletes following my advice about open water. There's a lot of questions going on in these, again, I talked about these Facebook groups about, I did my first open water swim, I panicked. Do you have any tips? Practice more. Practice makes progress, people. One open water swim more
we're all going to have an issue. Even someone with 30 years experience, we're all going to have our issues. The issues are due to you're already anxious because you don't have experience. You can't see anything. The water temperature is different than the pool. And most people don't warm up before they swim open water, yet they'll warm up from in the pool. So, I mean, a lot of questions, I don't have them actually. I wasn't prepared for that today, but I just wanted to stress that because that's a lot of questions that I'm answering from people on social media is how to be less anxious in open water. And really it is, you just have to practice. It's that simple.
It's exposure.
Every open water swim experience, every open water swim experience is going to be different due to the temperature of the air, temperature of the water, the wind, the weather, the lightness on land compared to the lightness in the water. You just have to practice. You just have to practice. You have to practice. I can't stress that enough.
Right. In my master's one day it was right before the Boulder 70.3, because a lot of people at my group are doing Boulder 70.3. And that's what I had them do. I had a little list. It was like 20 jumping jacks, 10 burpees. Like I had just a little list of things to get your heart rate up. And then it was some mobility stuff. And then you get in the water and you sprint the first 200. And this was in a pool because that's where we were practicing. But at least it gets you used to, it gives you some options for land warm up. And it shows you like, okay, when you get in and sprint as fast as you can, after 10 minutes, I had him do it. The warm up on the dry land warm up was 10 minutes. It wasn't as bad as if you're just sitting in line waiting to enter and you're all hopped up on, there's all this energy around, but you haven't physically gotten your heart rate up through movement in the morning. And then you just jump in the water and all of a sudden it's like,
right. And I think that's a great example. Okay. If you just jumped in and you didn't have a chance to warm up and you jumped in open water for the first time and you panicked, go do that in the pool. If you want to practice getting over your panic, just get up early in the morning by 7 a.m. That's usually when most races start. Dive in the water and go as fast as you can. You're going to be breathless. You're going to panic. And that is a good drill that actually might help you when you go to open water and do the exact same thing. You know, there are a lot of things that the pool can't prepare you for. And there are some things that the pool can prepare you for, because then you get the other extreme of, well, I don't have access to open water. Okay, think about that before you sign up for your race. I mean, I know people do Ironman and sprints and mini sprints and just triathlon in general for a life-changing experience, mental and physical and emotional, and I get that. And at the same time, with our experiences we have, it's longevity. It's a lifestyle. If you're not ready, you don't have to do it. And if you're not ready for open water, don't sign up for an open water swim until you're ready. Get ready and then go do it. That's my whole point, is get ready and then go do it.
Yeah, you can you could do a duathlon. You can do a pool open water, a pool triathlon. My first 3 triathlons were all in a pool. So there are those options. Another thing I did when I did St. George last year, because when I wear my wetsuit, I have had experiences of really intense anxiety to the point that I've been pulled out of races. I've taken off my wetsuit in the middle of the lake, and I've had to hang on to kayaks and paddle boards. And I didn't want that to happen last year at St. George. And you pretty much have to wear a wetsuit. The water's pretty chilly. And so the day before the race, I put on my wetsuit. I was with Ashley, and I said, I am going to sprint into the water. Like, I stood back as far as I could on the beach. And I'm like, I'm going to sprint as fast as I can, dive into the water and do 100 strokes as hard as I can and try to make myself have a panic attack, because it wasn't during the race and I could just stop and tread water and then easily come back. But I was trying to expose myself to that so that I knew I would be okay. And it was really interesting because I did a full on sprint, dove into the water. I swam as fast as I could. I kicked really hard, which I never kick, but that gets my heart rate up really high. And I swam out to this. They had this like those floaty playground, like jungle gym things. So I swam out to there and I was like out of breath, but it never triggered the panic attack. So I do think it's a lot of times it is in a race scenario because you're already heightened. Your heart rate's up, your nerves are up. That's all a little bit heightened already. But what it did was it made me realize, like, okay, maybe I won't get a panic attack because I just really tried to give myself one and I couldn't. So, and I didn't have one at that point at that race. The other thing, like Wendy said, like exposing to the open water. We have in Colorado, we have a thing called Stroke and Stride, and it's every week, and it's an open water swim, and you start at a mass start. So you can get that exposure to kind of a race scenario in a little more, a safer environment, that if you went out and then swam right back in, it'd be no big deal. You could actually swim out. If you start panicking, swim in, let your heart rate come down to, take a chill, and then go back out, and you could start it all over again. So if you find something like that in your area where you have exposure to groups of people all starting at the same time, then that's a good option to alleviate that.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for this week?
Getting back into training after my race. I'm excited to just have a block of training and not have to do anything to prepare for a race. Again, I don't race a lot like most people do, but for me, I feel like between my 10Ks and my triathlon and my ultras, I'm like, God, I feel like I've been racing a lot. I don't like to race people. Like, people don't believe me, but racing has never been my thing, even as an age group swimmer. I prefer to train. And then the race is another day of training, and I keep convincing myself the race is another day of training. So why do I have to taper? Because the race is another day of training.
Right.
I'm looking forward to a block of training. I'm looking forward to, kind of just getting back into coaching one time a day instead of twice a day, and it's all good.
Yeah. What are you like getting back into your training? Just getting back into moving every day, or do you have something else on the horizon that you want to train for?
No, just random. I'm just going to be randomly training. I'm going to give myself a month to randomly train and not train for anything.
I like that you call your random.
I'm not going to follow a training plan. I just want. I kind of want to get on my bike again. I want to swim again. I don't really want to run up a hill again, and I don't really want to follow a structure. I've been following structure, and I'm really a non-compliant. I have an ultra running coach, and I've had her since December. And I've told her I'm a very non-compliant athlete. That's why I'm not really have had a coach in a long time. And so I've been pretty compliant, but I'm ready to just do my own thing. Like, I don't want to follow the plan anymore. I just want to do my race and just have some unstructured training for a while. That's what I really love to do more than anything. But being a new ultra runner and having some pretty heavy ultras in my race schedule this year, I wanted a coach who was very competitive like myself and see how it worked out.
Yeah, I am so excited to just like sit on the bike for 3 hours and get my work done on my phone. Like, that's one thing that I loved when I was training for Ironman years ago, is in the winter, I would just get on my bike and I would get so much done because I'm sitting on a bike and I have nowhere else to go. When I'm at home, I can't get things done because there's too much else going on. But I get so much done when I just sit on the bike and do like a zone 2 ride. So that's what I'm excited about for my training, since I'm not doing any more races this year. So I totally get that. I'm definitely most excited about our 3 swim meets, but I also have an athlete that next Monday and Tuesday, she's doing Badwater. And I'm so excited to follow her, and whether she finishes or not, like her I just think it's going to be such a phenomenal experience. It's taken her 2 years to get to this point because you have to apply for the race. They only take 100 athletes and you have to have a pretty massive resume. And she worked for 2 years to get this resume, got accepted. She's been doing, like I mentioned on another podcast, she just like hangs out in her car because she's trying to she makes her own sauna. She just hangs out in her car with the heat on in New Mexico in the summer with all her clothes on for heat training. And I'm just really excited to, follow her journey and see her experience with Badwater. And that's in 1 week.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I'm excited.
I know. It's going to be so cool. Because I know people who have done Badwater, but not like on a really personal level. Like, I'm like, oh, I met that person, or that person's like a local runner or whatever. But this is my first like friend who is getting to experience that. So it's going to be really cool. All right. Anything else, Wendy?
No, as always, make it a great day, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Wellness Made Easy with Wendy and Kirsten.
If you want to learn more about us or anything we talked about today, check out the links in our show notes.
We would love to know what you think of our podcast and what you want more of. So drop us a comment, send us a message, and help us out by leaving us a rating and a review.
And don't forget to let us know your wellness win for this week.
Thanks for listening.
Make it a great day.